All right, today's topic is about exponents. A lot of people, they get confused about exponents for some reason, but this is one of the simplest topics that a person can ever do. Now, let's give a little bit of background as to what are exponents. Exponents, they've got a background in what? In addition. This is where we start with the story of exponents. What happens? In addition, if we say to you 2 plus 2, a number is repeating itself. You have 2 and you have to add 2. And when you add these 2, you get 4. Now, let's expand this addition. If I now come and I say 2 plus 2 plus 2 plus 2 plus 2, it will equal to what? How many 2's am I supposed to add? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And these 2's, when I add them all together, they give me 10. Now, in mathematics, there are parts where we need shortcuts. Why? This work is tedious, meaning to say that it's just a lot of work, but we can have a shortcut. So instead of repeatedly adding 2's, what is the shortcut? The shortcut which was developed by mathematicians was to say that if I'm to add these 2's, why don't we say 2 multiplied by 5? So 2 multiplied by 5 is identical to saying 2 plus 2 plus 2 plus 2 plus 2, right? So 2 times 5 simply says repeatedly add 2 5 times. And 2 multiplied by 5 is equals to what? It is equals to 10. This is less time consuming, right? Yes. Now, since we have got this, if we come and we say 3 multiplied by 9, what does it mean? It simply means that we must repeatedly add 3, how many times? 9 times. And our answer will be equal to 27. Now, we are going to talk about this shortcut of multiplication. What if we are given 2? Now they say 2 multiplied by 2, it gives us 4. Let's expand this number of 2. What if we say 2 multiplied by 2 multiplied by 2 multiplied by 2? Now, 2 must multiply itself how many times? It must multiply itself 4 times. If we say 2 times 2, we get 4. 4 times 2, 8. 8 times 2, we get 16. Now, mathematicians say that, what if we develop a shortcut of repeatedly multiplying the same number? So how many 2's did we multiply? We multiplied 4. Then they said that let's have the shortcut which we call exponents, where we will indicate that the number that we need to multiply is 2. And how many times should we multiply this 2? We should multiply it 4 times. And we get the answer which we call 16. Now, this is now a different way of writing this 2 times 2 times 2 times 2. So, what happens? What we have written here, it has got names. So this 2, the number that is repeatedly multiplying itself, then this is called what? A base. And the number of times that this base is repeatedly multiplying itself, this is what we call as an indice or an exponent. It's called an exponent, or alternatively an indice, right? So we've got a base, the number that is repeatedly multiplying itself, and an exponent, the number of times that this base is multiplying itself. This is what we call exponents, base and an exponent. And of course, you get your number, right? Now, we want to use this part. 2 times 2 times 2 times 2. This is what we call expanded notation. And the shortcut that we spoke of is what is known as exponential form. Exponential form. So let's deal with a few examples so that we may know how to write expanded notation and exponential form. If they come to you, then they say 3 multiplied by 3 multiplied by 3. What does this mean? It simply means that multiply these 3. How many times? 3 times. When you write it in exponential form, we say that which number is multiplying itself? 3. That's what we call the base. We write it. This is the base 3. How many times is this 3 multiplying itself? 1, 2, 3. Then we write it as an exponent like this. So this is 3 to the power 3. So if they say write in exponential form, you write it like this. If they say write it as an expanded notation, you write it like this. Now, let's talk about if we are given 7 to the power 5. Now, the question we've been given in exponential form, we have a base, we have an exponent. Now, the question wants you to write in expanded notation. What do? We now say that the base, the number that is multiplying itself is 7. How many times should this 7 multiply itself? 5 times. Which means we come here and we now say 7 multiplied by 7. We have 2 of them now. Multiplied by 7, we have 3 of them. Multiplied by 7, we have 4 of them. Multiplied by 7, now we've got 5 of them, and we have answered. So this is the introduction to exponents. This is expanded notation. This is exponential form. Here's some sums that you can do for yourself to test whether you've understood this work, right? So I want you to go and write 5 to the power 7. 5 to the power 7 in expanded notation. You must answer it in expanded notation. And under expanded notation, we have got what? 6 multiplied by 6 multiplied by 6 multiplied by 6 multiplied by 6. So you must write this expanded notation. You must convert it to become exponential form, right? Okay, thank you. On the next video, this is what I'm going to be teaching. I'm going to be teaching you about squares and cubes, so that we may know what are squares and what are cubes. After squares and cubes, then we will deal with square and cube roots. So do join us on the next lesson so that you may know. You may learn about what are squares and cubes and what are squares and cube roots. What is the difference between squares and square roots, cubes and cube roots? Thank you.